What's going on, guys? I hope you're having a great day. Today I have a ranking video for you guys because it's something that I enjoy making. Today I'm ranking the SMGs in Cold War, and just before that everyone gets their own opinions about these guns, I'm ranking these guns based on my own opinions about the guns and how I feel how they are in the game. So there are only 5 SMGs so far in this game, probably gonna drop more as the seasons comes. But at last place, 5th place, we have the KSP-45. The reason I don't like the gun is because it's pretty similar to the Pharaoh from BO3, and I don't like burst SMGs. They are typically weak, has low damage range, and this gun has both of those. It has low ammo because you have to spam the trigger finger. You can't hold it down or press it down. You have to spam it to actually get the shots off, and that is something that I don't see as value, or I don't like it, to be honest. I think it's pointless to have a burst SMG if you can't hold down the trigger. Then you have to spam it because it ain't firing those shots off quickly, more quickly enough if you don't have a attachment on the gun to actually get the fire rate going. So that's basically the reason why I put it at 5th place. And at 4th place we have the Milano, or as some people might call it, the Uzi. I placed this gun in 4th place because it has slow fire rates, and I don't think that's pretty good in SMGs when you actually have to have those high fire rates guns to actually win a gunfight up close, because I find it quite often that I lose these gun battles against ARs or basically just light machine guns up close, which is pretty bad if you're thinking about using SMGs, because when you have SMGs you are supposed to win those gunfights. It's weak, it's very weak. I don't like how weak it is, but when I run up to, for example, 2 guys and they have both their backs against me, I can kill one of them, but by the time I'm going for the other kill, he already has turned around and kills me instead. It happens multiple times. I don't know if it's just because I'm bad, but it only happens when I use this gun or the KSP-45. So that's basically the reason why I placed it in 4th. It's weak, it has low fire rate, it can't take these close gunfights, which is pretty valuable to an SMG. Next up we have the Bullfrog, or the Bison as it's called in Modern Warfare. The reason the Bullfrog is in 3rd and not 4th is basically just because of the 50 round mags. If it didn't have 50 rounds and had closer to around 30, I would probably change the Milano and the Bison around, but because it has the big ass mag, I'm keeping it here in 3rd. The gun has really low recoil. You always don't need a foregrip on it to control the recoil, and because it has so low recoil, you can actually take those long range gunfights and actually win against ARs if the other player is bad. But a con that I found with this gun is that it's pretty weak against SMGs up close. I think that pretty much every SMG can take this gun out up close, even the KSP and Milano, but it is what it is. Because it has low recoil and it has 50 round mags, I'm keeping it in 3rd place. In 2nd place we have the AK-74U. Many of you might remember how strong it was in the alpha and beta, but they have nerfed it a bit, so it's not that strong anymore, but it's still strong. It has low recoil and therefore it can work as an AR. You can typically win those long range gunfights against pretty much every other gun if you're accurate enough, which is great when this gun has low recoil. But a con is that it has low fire rate, which typically means that it will 100% lose against an MP5, for example, or Bullfrog for that matter, which is pretty bad, but because it has that low recoil and can work as an AR if you put on the right attachments, I'm keeping it in second place. Next up we have the MP5. The MP5 has low recoil and it has high fire rate, which automatically makes it the best SMG in the game right now. It already had a nerf, but it's still the strongest gun in the game in my opinion. It is strong at all ranges. It can take those close gunfights, medium range, or even long range gunfights if you're accurate enough. And I'm pretty sure that the MP5 will be the meta this year alongside the 74U. I've seen a few live streams of Scum, for example, and Envoy, where they use the MP5. But I also see an Envoy use the 74U in the cool kit and stuff, so I think both of those guns are going to be meta this year. So the first class that we're going to dive into is the KSP because it came 5th place. Just take notice that most of the classes are actually kind of similar. There aren't much variety on these classes, and I'm sorry about that, but I'm not really educated enough to make this big variation in classes. But what works best for me are this class on the KSP, which is the Infantry Compensator for the muzzle. It gives a lot of vertical recoil control, but the horizontal recoil control is harder to handle, but it isn't really that hard. Barrel, the reinforced heavy, just because it has more effective damage range and much better bullet velocity. It does take away a bit of your sprinting move speed and then walking movement speed, but it doesn't really matter. This gun is already pretty mobile, so it doesn't really matter. For underbarrel, you will need the speed grip, because when you use an SMG, you will typically like to be fast and be quick and stuff, so this will give you sprinting move speed and then horizontal recoil control. And for some reason this takes away also a bit of move speed, shooting move speed and aim walking move speed, but it is what it is. This is the best grip. You could also use the front grip if you don't like the speed grip, but I would recommend the speed grip, but front grip works as well. For the handle, you have two options. You can either use the drop shot wrap if you like to drop shot, or you can use the speed tape. Either of these works fine. I usually use the drop shot because I like to lay on my stomach and just be a dick, but whatever works for you is fine. And then for stock, you will use no stock. Tactical stock works as well if you want to do that. Even the SAS Combat Stock works as well. But this sprint to fire time or speed or whatever you want to call it is so huge that I would recommend using the no stock attachments. And then at 4th place we have the Milano. As I said, the classes are pretty similar, so we just start off with the muzzle is Infantry Compensator. It has the same pros and cons as the last one. And then the reinforced heavy, it has the same pros and cons as last one. I just like these attachments the best because they pretty much work for every SMG. And then underbarrel, the speed grip again, and as I said last time, foregrip typically you will be good as well. And then drop shot wrap or speed tape, you can do whatever you want. I like drop shot wrap because then I can drop shot. And then the marathon stock, which is pretty much the same thing as snow stock and all the other guns. The bullfrog, non-surprisingly, it has the same attachments, but it has different names. It's Spetsnaz Compensator, and then the VDV reinforced barrel, the Spetsnaz speed grip. Foregrip works fine as well, and if you don't want to use a grip at all, you can also use the steady aim laser for the hipfire accuracy. So you have a bit of a choice there between these two attachments. On the handle, you will use the drop shot wrap if you want to drop shot, or the speed tape if you want to just get more aim down sight speed. and dropshot wrap if you want to dropshot. The stock is no stock, tactical stock works as well, and KGB Skeletal Stock works as well if you want to do that, but no stock is pretty much the best one. And then for the second place in this ranking, we have the 74U, and the class is pretty much the same. Spetsnaz Compensator, the reinforced barrel, the Spetsnaz speed grip or foregrip, you can do whatever you want. Even Spetsnaz grip on this gun works as well. I would recommend the Spetsnaz grip over the force grip, but you can do whatever you want, of course. This is just for a bit of inspiration if you aren't really sure about your classes. And then drop shot wrap or speed tape. Grew elastic wrap works as well on the 74U. And then no stock, of course, but you can do whatever you want. You can also use the KGB's Skeletal Stock as well. It has a lot of pros and cons, but the hipfire accuracy will go way down, and because this class doesn't really have much hipfire, you will probably just sit around and aim down your sight all the time, which is not always the best thing because you want to be aggressive when you're using an SMG, so the NAS stock is probably better than the KGB stock, but of course you can do whatever you want to. And then for the MP5 class, the best gun or the best SMG in the game, we have no muzzle actually, but we have a barrel. We have the reinforced heavy barrel, and then you have the steady aim laser instead of a muzzle. You have the speed grip, but you can also use field agents and foregrip. You can do whatever you want, but the speed grip typically works the best because you want to be aggressive when using a SMG. Drop shot wrap, if you want to do that, I typically use this because I'm addicted to drop shotting. Even though it's pretty bad in this game, I still do it just because it's a bad habit. Or you can use the speed tape. You can use no stock, which is probably the best one, or you can use radar stock. Radar stock will be okay, but as you can see, it has 30% hipfire accuracy con, and that basically makes this steady aim laser pointless to use. So if you're going to do that, don't use laser, you feel. But that was pretty much all the classes in the SMG category. I made these classes in a private match because I haven't got everything unlocked, but I've played a lot with these guns all over, to be honest. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, comment what you liked about the videos, or if you have any questions, I can answer those. I'm pretty fast at replying because there aren't much action happening on this channel. And consider subscribing if you want more ranking videos. I also make S&D content, which is pretty much everything that I'll play, even a bit of hardpoint here and there if you want to look at that as well. But I hope to see you in some of my other videos, and have a great day.